In bad health. It might be fun at first, but the bad times come very quickly when your friends start dying around you, or you get locked in a box for the rest of your life, or you're disabled and in a wheelchair because you caught a bullet fragment to your spine. Um, Nothing positive comes out of it, brother, and I hope you never consider that because it's a life of sadness. And when I say death, I'm not just speaking on you dying. Sometimes you lose family members, being involved with these groups. They don't always just kill you. Sometimes they'll kill your little sister, or it's horrible. So I recommend it for no one, and wish it not even on my worst enemy.
And we concentrate on these dark consequences of that lifestyle because this is an educational channel whereby we're hoping the young people will not go down that path. So you've got a lighter question here from JC. Do you enjoy this time of the year, brother?
Oh yes, I love Christmas. It's nice, even though it doesn't get too cold out here. It's just a nice change to see the holiday decorations and the food and getting together with family. I definitely enjoy it. I went gift shopping the other day, so my little ones are gonna be happy, and that's what it's about. It's spending time with family. So most definitely, I enjoy Christmas.
Nosferatu wants to know about the younger generations using social media as a way to promote the cartel lifestyle.
For a while, it was really popular, especially in the days of like Chino Anthrax, who was the head of my organization, for example. He used it heavily, but it caused a lot of people's downfall, including Chino Anthrax. That's how they were able to track him. So a lot of them have learned not to use it, and it's not as big as it was, let's say, 10 years ago. But at the same time, a lot of the really younger ones, they do make the mistake to use social media again, but I think the OGs kind of feel like me. Like I don't even have a cell phone. I don't even trust phones. I use my wife's phone when I need a phone. So I don't trust technology at all. And the younger generation, I think, feels a lot more comfortable with it.
PL wants to know the story about Chelino killing his sister's rapist and his ex-brother-in-law killing Chelino.
I know for sure he killed his sister's rapist. 100%. That's true. But as far as his ex-brother-in-law killing him, I'm not sure because, like I said, I've heard several different versions of his death, and no one really has proof of which one's true, unfortunately. But that's definitely an interesting theory. I've heard that before, and it definitely has some points that make sense. So it very well could be true that it was his ex-brother-in-law. 100%. It's very possible.
During my time is wondering if it's safe for an older American to move to Mexico or South America.
Depends where you go, brother. Like I said, there's places here in Sinaloa where expats and tourists are really respected, but there's other parts of Mexico that could be extremely dangerous. So it really depends. It's location, location, location.
Do you know anything from JT's asking about the World Economic Forum pushing dark agendas in Mexico?
I think there's a lot of people like Soros and different people pushing dark agendas here in Mexico, but as far as the World Economic Forum in specific, I'm not educated on that, so I'm not going to say anything because I probably sound stupid.
Oh, this question from Raging now brings me back to if people haven't seen the interview, OG brought on a cartel hitman. It's the complete opposite of the Hollywood movies. He was under constant worry that he was just going to get eliminated. He was getting paid pittance a month for unlimited kills. And he did it because he just wanted to give some money to his family, even though he knew he was probably going to get killed himself. It was so sad. Is he still alive, OG?
He passed away actually. It was like 4 months ago.
From are you able to say how he passed away?
It was due to infighting like inside his own group. Actually, it wasn't any outside force, but that's usually the most common way. People don't understand that it's more common you'll die at the hands of your friends than at your enemies. In cartel life, there's lots of betrayal and infighting. Just greed and yeah, envy, greed and envy.
When I get off the stream, I'm going to put a link, as well as a link to OG's channel in the description. I'm going to put a link to the interview we did with the hitman, and people will see how far removed it is from the glamorization in TV. And like I say, this is an educational channel. People can see the reality of how these guys are used. These young people are used, their lives just used. All right, so Ray J is wondering what's the average lifespan of a cartel member?
I think it depends what position he occupies inside the organization. For example, somebody involved in gasoline theft is going to live a lot longer than an active sicario. But if you're asking about sicarios, I'd say probably a couple months, on average. It could be a lot less than that depending on the person if they're not too skilled and on their feet, but usually a couple months max. They're really disposable at the end of the day, and they only make $500-600 a month, so it's nothing glamorous, like Shaun said.
Finn wants to know, are most of the foot soldiers and even some of the higher ups broke, have no money? It's like a real small percent that live in luxury.
So even though it doesn't sound like a lot to us, $500-600 a month is very good salary here in Mexico. So it brings a lot of them out of poverty, and that is the cause of them getting into this lifestyle. I'd say 99% of the time is poverty. They grow up never having a penny, never having money for food or for clothes or whatever they need. And $600 a month sounds like a lot of money to them because they know at least with that they'll be able to buy food every day. So it might be hard for us to understand, but if you're coming from poverty, just that chance to be able to feed yourself or your family every day guaranteed, I think is what draws most of them into it.
PL, does Caneo give backing to any cartel or vice versa?
I'm not sure, but there was definitely a kidnapping. I think it was his brother that was kidnapped, if I remember correctly, by the cartel. So I'm sure they have certain ways of pressuring him. Who knows if they wanted to throw a fight or something? I don't know. But it was definitely odd to see his brother get kidnapped. It definitely looked like someone was trying to get some type of control over him.
Introspection has asked, could you ever go back to living a normal life if you wanted to?
Yeah, well, I consider I live a pretty normal life, I guess, in general, as far as I was able to get out of that life. So, that was a big deal to get permission to step away. They don't let people step away too often. So I consider I live a normal life now as far as not being involved in anything criminal, but I guess it's not too normal what I do as a journalist here in Mexico. It's definitely a lot more risky than the average person's job, but I could definitely go back, I guess, live a normal life, but I don't know if I'd want to be honest. This is kind of what I enjoy doing and what I know, and yeah, I guess it's my life. It is what it is. I enjoy it, so.
I just want to say, OG is being modest. His life has had some serious threats. He had a bodyguard at one point. Did your bodyguard, is he still alive?
Actually, he is alive, but he's actually locked up as I couldn't employ him anymore. He kind of went back to, the only other employer and is right now he's facing criminal charges, Mr. Metal.
Mr. Metal, I remember Mr. Metal. What's the biggest threat you've had to your life or the most serious situation you've been in because of your journalism?
I think if you look on my channel from 2 weeks ago, I put up a video with the letter Cartel Jalisco sent me, one of their commanders, their comandantes, and he basically threatened me and my whole family. So I think that was probably the most serious, just due to the organization that sent it. Those people, they don't play around, and I definitely took it serious. I even had to move. So I think, yeah, that had to be the most serious.
So because you're in Sinaloa, does that give you a degree of safety against these rivals who are threatening you?
Most definitely. I think people could get in probably if they're very smooth, but they definitely won't be able to get out alive because the cartel has such a lockdown on Sinaloa and especially on Culiacan. They were even able to take the government on and beat the government. So it would be very hard for anyone to do something and be able to get out. But then again, you know, a lot of people get promised, like they'll have a helicopter come rescue them, and it's really just a suicide mission. So that's what scares me is them promising some people, you know, a way out that they're gonna have a helicopter waiting for them and all this, but it's really just a suicide mission, and they're just sending them to kill me. So it does grant me some degree of safety, but at the same time, there's lots of dumb people who try dumb things even if they don't have much of a chance. So far, it's definitely helped, but it's not really 100% guarantee that I'll always be safe either.
So if Jalisco sent a hit team to your area, does your area's cartel have spotters out looking for those guys coming into their territory?
Oh yeah, Sinaloa knows, you know, every main street, every airport, every bus terminal. They have eyes all over the place and have ways of identifying people, and on top of the fact, law enforcement's in their pocket. So they really know everything that goes on here in Culiacan, and outsiders, you know, are usually picked out pretty quick. There hasn't ever been like a foreign cartel launching an attack here in a long time. I can't even remember the last time it happened, to be honest, in Culiacan. But it's pretty safe to do that. It's kind of like their home base, if you want to look at it like that.
So the territory you're in then, did you have to get permission from the cartel in your territory to do your reporting?
We kind of came to an agreement that I was going to report on what I was going to report on, but I wasn't going to focus on them exclusively. They said that was the only thing. If they saw me just going after them constantly and them in specific, like if I made it personal, they'd make it personal. But I explained to them and we came to agreement that's not the case. I'm going to report on everybody equally, and I'm not going to be bullshitting either, because that's what they really get pissed about is people making up stories about them just to get views. And I've never done that, luckily. So I've never pissed them off where I live. And the only time I pissed off Jalisco, I was just telling the truth. So luckily, where I live in Sinaloa, they're a lot more, how do you say, accommodating to journalists. Journalists definitely have been killed here, 100%, but they don't target journalists specifically in lots of other states. So it is what it is.
Paul wants to know, why don't you just move to America for your own safety?
I feel I really wouldn't be able to keep reporting if I did that. I'd just be kind of like the other channels that report on it from outside of Mexico, and you kind of lose touch with reality and what's going on if you're not living there yourself and seeing it with your own eyes. You're kind of getting secondhand information. So I just feel I wouldn't be able to keep doing what I'm doing. And if one day I'm not satisfied with this work, I probably will move to the United States. Who knows? It's possible.
Do you think you've become addicted to your mission?
100%. And then I look at the friends I've lost due to it and everything else. And if I quit, I kind of feel it'd be like it's all for nothing. So I definitely think I've become addicted to it 100%.
Who were the 4 of your podcast guests who were assassinated?
Oh, there was Joker. Wow. There was Lieutenant Rojo. There was, let me think. Oh, I feel bad I can't remember their names right now. I'm gonna have to take a pass on that one, Sean, because I can't remember 2 of their names right now off the top of my head.
Okay, no worries.
I'm sorry.
Were the assassinations anything to do with speaking to you?
Oh no, it was all for them and their involvement with organized crime. Like I said, like the group here doesn't have problems with my channel because I really do report on everybody evenly. So luckily that's never been a problem, nor has anyone here ever threatened me before. So I've been pretty fortunate in that aspect as far as that goes.
Ray J wants to know if the danger went extreme for you, do you have an escape plan? Obviously you can't say your plan, but do you have one?
Somewhat, and I live in a gated community with armed security in one of like the safer neighborhoods here in Culiacan. I've done live streams and I showed people the neighborhood so you can actually see the security here. So I feel pretty safe, but I definitely do have a plan if shit were to hit the fan.
Who's Barbie, whose house party 3 people died at?
He's an American narco. that worked for the Beltran Leyva cartel. That's the video I did 3 days ago on Barbie's party where 3 people died. He's currently in American custody, but disappeared from the Bureau of Prisons registry about 2 weeks ago. And most people are speculating that he's now in the witness protection program.
So the Chapisa left a message for Russo. We are coming for you. Who's Russo?
So Russo is Miles' lieutenant that I was speaking on earlier that Chapo's sons went after in Culiacan. And yes, that message was left in Baja California, and that's Chapo's sons fighting with Miles' lieutenant El Russo. El Russo means the Russian.
So what's the Russian influence over there?
Not a lot at all. They supply weapons, they supply narcotics and sometimes get weapons in return from Russian organized crime, but it's not a big relationship. That nickname just comes from the fact he had to connect with Russian guns and supplied lots of, AK-47s and stuff, so he got the name the Russian.
Nosferatu wants to know if, even though you've got a good relationship with the cartel in your territory now, if the leadership changed, could that put your life on the line?
100%, but it's been under the same leadership for 50 years. So unless Mayo, dies, which is very possible because he's 74, but his sons have a very similar outlook he does, and they're the ones lined up to take over, his part of the organization if something does happen. But that is always a possibility. You never know who's going to be in charge and when and how they're going to look at things.
Who was the witch who protected Mencho and what happened to her?
She actually ended up being killed, I think, by Cartel Jalisco, by Mencho's men. And she was actually very famous and serviced lots of narcos all throughout Mexico, but ended up, losing her life. And a lot of people say karma, as she dealt with dark arts, death came and got her.
Wow. All right. Well, look, we've been on for over an hour. We've answered all the questions, OG. I'm going to urge people to go down and subscribe to your channel. I'm just going to put this in the chat right now. Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion to the people watching?
Yes, as well. I'm starting to sell hats, like these hats that are original from here from Mexico, as well as Chapo statues, necklaces, all types of different things that are originally here from Sinaloa. So if anyone wants to contact me on any of that, you can contact me at OG Shadow Official Podcast at gmail.com. And I appreciate every one of you. Here's another one of the hats. Like this is the Chapo hat. It's JGL for Joaquin Guzman Loera. And like this is a Sonora one. So yeah, if anyone likes any of the hats and the styles from here, I'll be having those for sale. And that's the only thing I wanted to get out.
I've got a friend who'd like some of that, so I'll get in touch. But huge thank you, brother. As I've always said to the viewers, you've got the biggest balls on YouTube to reporting on what you're reporting on. We wish you all the best in your mission, and we will check in with you again, no doubt. So take care, my friend. Enjoy your Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Shaun. Nothing but love to you and yours, brother. Always a pleasure.
All right, I'm just going to ask the viewers something real quick. We did a poll today, and the viewers, we asked them about true crime on Christmas Day. 85% of the viewers said they want to spend time with the family. 15% of the viewers said they want true crime. So viewers, put a 1 in the chat if you would like us to stream some true crime tomorrow. Put a 2 in the chat if you're going to have Christmas off, true crime videos, and spend time with your family. Let's see what you say. And if everyone wants to spend time with the family, we will respect that. We got a lot of 1s already. I might have to hustle something up there. Well, thank you wherever you are watching this in the world. Really appreciate you guys. All the love and support you've given us. Ray J is howling, my moderator. Take care out there. Much love and respect from London and Sinaloa, Mexico. Cheerio. Thanks.
Cheers.